All right, let's talk tech ball. We're going to dive deep into the official rulebook to really clear up the order of play. Now, I know it can seem a little complicated at first glance, but stick with me. And by the end of this, you'll get the entire flow of the game, from that very first serve to the final point.
You know, we all watch these incredible, fast-paced matches, but have you ever stopped to think about how it all stays so organized and fair? Well, the secret isn't just about raw skill. It's actually built right into the rules that control the sequence of play. It's what keeps the game both exciting and legit.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll kick things off with how a match even begins, touch on the basic rally, and then jump into the real heart of it, that double service rotation plus the little twist for mixed doubles. After that, we'll cover scoring, when to switch sides, and wrap up with how to handle those common little mistakes. Let's do it.
Okay, first things first. How does a match even get going? Well, it all starts with a super simple, totally fair process that decides who serves first and which side of the tech table they'll start on.
It all boils down to a classic coin toss. But this isn't just for show. The winner gets to make two really big decisions. They get to pick their side of the table, and they decide if their team is going to serve first or receive first. I mean, that one flip of a coin really sets the tone for the entire first set.
Now, before we get into all the fancy rotations, let's just quickly lay the groundwork for every single point, the basic rally. What actually makes for a legal return?
For a return to count, a few things have to happen. First, only the player who is supposed to receive the serve can touch the ball. Simple enough. Second, the ball has to bounce just once on your side before you hit it back. And finally, your return obviously has to land on your opponent's side, all without you committing any other faults. It's that simple sequence that keeps every rally clean.
Okay, now for the main event. This is the big one. We're talking about the service rotation in doubles, and this is truly the engine that drives the game's flow. If you can understand this pattern, you've pretty much cracked the code of tech ball. The whole thing is triggered by one super simple rule. After every 2 points are scored, the service changes hands, and the players switch who's receiving. Just lock that number in your head. 2. Everything hinges on that.
So let's walk through it nice and slow. For the first 2 points, you've got player 1 from team A serving to player 1 from team B. Then, ding ding, 2 points are up. The serve flips over to team B. Now their player 1 serves, but, and this is key, they serve to the other player on team A, player 2, who has now moved into that receiving spot.
Following along? Good. After the next 2 points, the serve flips back to Team A, and now it's player 2's turn to serve to Team B's player 2. Then finally, for points 6 and 7, Team B's player 2 gets to serve, and they serve to Team A's player 1. And just like that, we've come full circle. The whole rotation is complete. And this table right here just lays it all out perfectly. You can literally see the whole 8-point cycle in one go. You see how the server just cycles through A1, B1, A2, B2. And at the exact same time, you can see how the receivers are rotating in their own set pattern. This is honestly the perfect cheat sheet to see how it all clicks together. You know, this quote from the official rulebook just says it all. After those 8 points, you're right back at the beginning. Team A, player 1, serving to Team B, player 1. What seems like this really complex system is actually just a simple, predictable pattern that repeats over and over. Now, just when you think you've got it all figured out, there's a little twist. Mixed doubles has its own special rule. It's a small change, but it is absolutely critical to the pattern. This slide really makes it crystal clear. In standard doubles, nobody cares about gender. You just follow the rotation. But in mixed doubles, it is strictly gender-specific. The 2 male players will serve back and forth to each other for 4 points, and then the 2 female players serve to each other for 4 points. You never, ever have a male player serving to a female player or the other way around.
Okay, so let's move on from serving and talk about how you actually win. This is all about the points you need to score to take a set and how teams switch sides to keep everything fair and balanced.
The magic number you need to remember is 12. First team to 12 points wins the set. And here's something interesting. Unlike tennis or volleyball, you don't have to win by 2. A final score of 12 to 11, that's a clean win. Now to keep things fair, teams switch ends after every single set. But in that final deciding set, there's an extra layer. The teams also switch sides whenever the leading team hits 6 points, then again at 12, and again at 18. This is huge, because it makes sure no one team gets stuck with an advantage from the sun or wind for too long. So players are human, right? Mistakes are going to happen. What happens when someone messes up the order of play? Well, this last part is our practical guide for how to handle the most common slip-ups without any drama.
Okay, this is the classic what-if moment.
In the heat of a rally, a player serves when it's not their turn or receives when they shouldn't. What's the call? Is it a penalty? Do they have to replay the point?
Well, the fix is actually pretty simple and, forgiving. The second the ref spots the mistake, they just stop play. The players are calmly moved back to where they're supposed to be based on the score, and the game just picks up from there. And here's the most important part. Any points that were scored before anyone noticed the error, they still count. It's all about correcting the game, not punishing the players.
So what about that other common mistake? Let's say the players are so locked in, they totally forget to switch ends of the table when they were supposed to. What's the procedure then?
The solution here is just as logical. You never, ever interrupt a rally that's in progress. You let the players finish the point. Then, as soon as it's over, they make the switch. And just like before, all the points that were scored while they were on the wrong sides are totally fine. They stay on the scoreboard.
So there you have it. We've gone through the whole order of play, from that first coin toss all the way to fixing common mistakes. But the real takeaway here is that these rules aren't just about keeping things orderly. They're the entire strategic framework of the game. So now that you know exactly who's serving to whom and when, how does that change the way you think about your next move? That right there is where the real game begins.